This time we're going to look at Dogura's Happy Chaos versus RX's Testament. Let's get into it. Alright, round start. Probably tried to go for dash block, and then do a delay button, but lost to RX's slight delayed button. Leads into a safe jump, but Gold Burst sets up the win condition. Dark Rush shot zoning, gets focus, but now that they have curse and focus, don't need to immediately go back into zoning, especially against Testament, because Testament has Arbiter that reaches almost full screen. You pretty much just need to dash into it and it'll catch any focus, or any steady aim startup. So it was good on Dogura to wait a second before moving on. But now Curse is still applied, so you get those fast shots and zoning, but resources are low. It's pretty fortunate that RX got hit by one of those steady aim shots. So now got a little bit more resources back, but low concentration, so gonna go into super. Go straight into some mix. Could have been avoided if RX did FD on wake up. But get some wall slump mix. Goes high and delayed throw. One more mix and this round's over. He did the 2P to bait the YRC because you see they had the 50 meter. But good throw tech by RX after that. Yeah, after throw tech, 2S is really strong. You know, RX missed a 2K, which would have won if, you know, Dogura did 6S or, you know, it just tried to pull up again. But now that will lead to the end of the round. Alright, next round starts. Both playing a little bit more passive, a little more defensive, since both of them were aggressive in the first round. Dogura tries to get Curse on, but RX avoids it. Tries to run up an anti-air with 5P, which would have worked if RX did, you know, air dash JH, since 5P is fast enough to catch it out of startup. But tries to get Curse again, and then tries to 6P, but unfortunately 6P is not very good against Testament's JH because of how deep it hits. Right. And RX unfortunately does not get both hits of the Grave Reaper, so it doesn't get a safe jump setup, but still gets some good pressure. And since the air block on the 6H gets a fully charged Grave Reaper, which is very plus, but Dogura presses anyways. Very good on Dogura to FD right here, because 5k into H Grave Reaper is +3. And if RX did dash carry a Grave Reaper, it probably would have been a better situation. But now that they didn't, it's really pushed really far away, which is still in a good range for Testament, right? Can still far slash here. Unfortunately, Dogura miscalculated the range a little bit and whiffs a 2S. But RX was trying to commit to anticipating Dogura jumping, but it didn't even matter because there's so little recovery on H Grave Reaper that can just go to far slash. Yeah, the FD usage is really good by Dogura here because it's keeping RX just at a range where it's really difficult, right? I don't think far slash would have reached here, and it made the the range for 236H to be a little bit off, which lets Dogura escape the corner. Really low commitment play from Dogura, right? Not committing to throwing curses or steady aim or anything. Just 5Ps, some movement, try to JS a little bit, good blocks. Gets curse on, but unfortunately it does not matter. 6H is something that you really need to look out for from Testament. It is, really slow, but the hurt box comes out a lot later, so if you're trying to do, 2S or 2K, it's not really going to hit Testament out of startup a lot. And 6H reaches so far that it's really good against, curse or backdash, and can get a lot of reward off of that. So just something to be careful about. Now is a really nice confirm, and ends the round. Alright, this time Dogura, it looks like, goes for a slight dash block into a very slight delayed 2S. Confirms into a knockdown, gets focus. Good on RX for FDing on wake up, because now close slash into roll and dust were not a thing, but Dogura decided to not even really commit to anything after that, right? So close slash and then try to take the plus frames to take the turn back. Lots of back dashes. Not necessarily bad, but like I said, it's something to be careful about when Testament can throw at 6H and really mess you up. And burst. Yeah, catches the landing recovery with 2S, which is really unfortunate for X. Gets to set up a little bit. Yeah, Scapegoat is really good against, the Fireball and against Arbiter. So if you're really scared and you get curse on them, you want to get some resources more safely, Scapegoat is the way to go. Unfortunately, ran out of concentration here, but after 6S definitely could have done concentration super and still comboed and wall broke easily. I think tried to go for a dash up throw, but gets counter hit. Still out of concentration, forced into some pressure. Yeah, it was good for Arts to avoid the corner that way, right? Anytime that Testament's in the corner, they're probably going to try to fish for Far Slash into Fireball or just try to set a Fireball so that they can get out of the corner or at least mix up their options, right? Because Arcs could, try to get some more plus frames and then IED or just try to dash up. But even if you just dash up, they're still going to be, near the corner. But teleporting behind is a very strong option and is difficult to deal with. It's good on RX for avoiding the jump in. Yeah, after these knockdowns, getting JH is pretty difficult to deal with. It is fuzzy guardable, like the high comes out faster than the low, but in a match it's still pretty difficult to deal with. So sets it up again, goes high this time, deals with Crow, calls out the jump. Yeah, just dash up 236H is really good, right? Because it's gonna be plus and it's a combo starter. So easy kill. Unfortunate for Dogura. Alright, next game, round start. Curse is pretty good. Avoids, I think, pretty much everything except maybe 6H. Yeah, unfortunately gets thrown out of the close slash dust. Trying to avoid the corner with air movement is a good option, but Testament has so many ways to cover the air that it is pretty scary. Curse is on. Skip the corner. Yeah, that's pretty resource intensive, but it's a good way to pretty much guarantee. If you can get out Curse and you have a lot of bullets, doing Guard Crush shot, and then doing shot, you can kind of keep them in blocks on the whole time. Nice anti-air. Should get focus and super. Really good situation for Dogura here. For a safe jump. Tries to bait out something. Maybe a throw. So 2k, yeah, 2k dash up into backdash to try to bait out a throw. Wow, go burst the Far Slash. Get some pressure. Should be some mix. Go straight for throw. Ooh, definitely could have killed. Could have just done, close slash 6S shot, and then super. Would have been enough. Or even just RCing after that could have killed. But ends it with a tap dust. Alright, next round. RX noticed that Dogura has been defensive the last few rounds, so doing a dash up 2k is pretty good. We'll catch a lot of the options that Dogura's been going for. And gets 2D 236H, which leads into the safe jump and also the high-low. But Dogura gets caught out of backdash. It's forced in the corner, which is a really bad idea. Really bad situation. But good on Dogura for FDing. Now that 236H whiffed, there is a bit of recovery that RX would have to go through, but doesn't capitalize on it. Just tries to jump out. Playing in this range, 2H pulls in, which forces the 236H. So still plus. It was a good idea to do 6P there, since I think Far Slash is probably the only thing that could reach. Let's see again. Yeah, just did it a bit too early. That was unfortunate. Good block, gets Curse, but doesn't really matter. Testament's lockdown is going to be so much, and there's probably no way you're going to get out a steady aim shot in this range when you're cornered like this. Decides to keep the corner, not breaking the wall, which is pretty smart. Just, if you got the corner pressure going, then might as well keep it going, right? Especially when one more mix will kill. So, very plus, yeah, 6p. Unfortunately doesn't get the counter hit, but now has one chance, but unfortunately doesn't get their cancel and just stays in steady aim. Probably could have ended up doing, steady aim shot, and then 2-1 for S fast cancel, dash up, shot, and then 3-way mixed. Maybe RX would have bursted you in the corner, but that would have been good for you because you still have one more round to work with. Or you could have, rolled through and stolen the corner from them. But yeah, unfortunately, just gets hit and ends the round. Alright. Yeah, Dogura is mixing up a lot between defensive, just backing off, doing curse, and doing dash block delayed 2S. And the dash block delayed 2S is really paying off for him. Confirms into a knockdown. Gets some pressure. Has done this a lot, and I don't think it's worked a single time, right? Dogora's been taking this knockdown, does, you know, some pressure, gets a shot, and then goes for like a throw bait, right? Goes for backdash. But I don't think we've seen RX a single time try to tech a throw on this dash up, and every time it's kind of gotten Dogura punished, which is really unfortunate. A fake teleport from RX, which is interesting, but then delayed to, it saves it for later, basically, for a situation that's more guaranteed. And a little impressive by Dogura, gets multiple IBs in a row, right, on the close slash on both hits of the fireball, but even IBFDing the fireball doesn't send you back because it's not, because it's a projectile, and projectiles don't really impact either player. So now curse is on, just trying to play out the neutral a bit. Gets curse, and yeah, that's what I was talking about before, where once you know, knock them full screen and you do focus, you have to worry about dash up Arbiter. Even though Dogura didn't even commit to doing steady aim, just committing to running forward. I guess Happy Chaos's dash is not fast enough to just avoid it completely. Tries to call out some jumps, some big space control buttons. I'm a bit surprised that that combo, since the RC didn't even connect, but I guess the counter hit stun was enough. So now in the corner, pretty bad situation. Very plus, overhead, meaty crow, gets out, almost. Yeah, again, Dogura keeps going for this, and it just keeps leading to really bad situations. Like, maybe it would have been a gold burst anyways, but, you know, take some plus frames, dash up, backdash. Backdash is pretty committal in this game. So even though it can, you know, avoid things, and it's good for baiting throws, it's been leading to a lot of bad situations. So yeah, now has 50 tension in the corner. Well, manages to get out. That was good. You can make that cross up, can make the teleport end up on the other side, but it's a little spacing dependent. Curse is on, which is good. Has meter, so should be able to. Okay, RX finally techs a throw when it matters. That was really nice confirm. But even worse drop. Nice air throw though. Alright, next game. We're gonna start Curse into 2k. Not a bad option, especially if they expect RX to be running up. Yeah, just a little late on the 6p. Curse on, pretty important. Keeps going for these backdashes, but doesn't get punished this time. Yeah. Testament does have some good options versus Clone, right? Or versus Scapegoat. So Far Slash is good, right? And since it's cancelable, it's even better. But Scapegoat loses to just Arbiter, because Arbiter can just go right past it and hit you on the other side anyways. So just something to be careful about in certain ranges. Yeah. RX is really calling out these jumps with 236H, but there's really no reason not to for Testament, because the recovery on it is so low, and so the reward is so high, right? Yeah. Good bait. Goes for teleport into throw. One more chance. Yeah, another throw. Alright, round starts. I assume Dogura probably wanted to do dash block, but got clipped. Yeah, these 236Hs from RX are really good. Dogura has basically never punished one, and leading to full combos for just guessing that they're going to be in the air is really nice for Testament. The teleport to get close. FDs are nice. Those are some nice FDs for Dogura to give themselves the space to get out of the corner. Now let's see some wall break mix, or wall splat mix. Tap dust, splat. Sticking to the dust, I would like to see Dogura do more BRC mixes, either close slash dash cancel up BRC into the J2K, or doing close slash IED BRC into the high-low. Since you have the meter and, well, I guess if you also are getting all the resources, then you can do the close slash jump cancel mix, which I think they're about to do. But yeah, here, unfortunately it misses because Dogura didn't dash up close enough. and RX FD, right? So if you're like all the way over here and you get pushed back, there's no way that you're gonna be able to get the JS. The only way you do it is air dash forward, but that's much slower. So sometimes you just need to dash a little deeper, or you just need to use the meter to mix. But doesn't matter, still gets the wall splat and focus and super. Okay, goes for J2K, J2K. Could do ID J2K like gunshot, airback, dash, JS, or you can do J2K, JPP, or you can do, J2K low, but you should probably be covering it with a shot when you have full resources. There's no reason not to. And because Dogura didn't really cover himself, got thrown, which is a really bad situation. Some more pressure, tries to ID out, but 6H is going to stop that. I assume RX wanted to succubus super, but got punch instead. So now both of them are at really high resources, but it's going to play with a little bit of footsies. 6-piece clash. And that is unfortunately the end of the round for Dogura. Had a very, very dominant, mixed a lot of times, wall broke, had all resources, and then went for a mix that wasn't safe when he had a lot of resources and got thrown. And back throw incident. Alright, next round start, dash block 2S. Pretty good, worked out, I think, every time. And yeah, sometimes it is really important to just commit to just dashing at Testament because of how slow some of their options are. Like, Arbiter does have a lot of recovery, so if you think they're going to commit, then it's good to just kind of run up. Unfortunately, doesn't get a combo, and just tries to go for some Oki. Does backdash again, but this time it works out. A little bit surprising that Arbiter missed here, or at least didn't even hit the scapegoat, right? Like that's really close, but fortunately gets it and gets bursted. 2S to punish the line recovery. Again, that's pretty nice. Unfortunately gets hit out of air ID back. Yeah, RX throwing out a lot of huge space control moves, right? With Arbiter, 236H, far slash. But now once you see that that the succubus is here, you got to be a little careful. But I guess that's offset by them being cursed, right? Because you can still shoot them, no matter what they try to do. That was kind of a crazy shot right there. They were like point blank. Decides to not take the wall break, but just kill anyways. Alright, next round. Curse, yeah. So Dogura's pretty much mixing up between the two options of dash block 2S versus curse, and it's working out pretty well for him. Yeah, dash up 2S after gunshot is pretty nice. Just send him away, build some resources. Oh, make sure to avoid Arbiter. Yeah, just mixing in, dash blocks in your Hub Chaos zoning is good for a couple reasons, right? In this matchup, it's good for avoiding Arbiter, but in general, if you're going to be zoning a lot, you want to be moving forward every once in a while to just keep your tension balance up. Because if you stay back, you'll either be put in danger or negative, and just the more you move away, the less meter you build for zoning. So moving forward builds you meter just because you're moving forward, and it makes sure that each of your parts of your zoning builds more meter. But gets these shots. That was going to be a nice confirm with the 5H. Dash up 2S is very strong. Runs out of resources and still manages to confirm, but doesn't have any concentration, so a little shimmy this time instead of a backdash, which ends up working out pretty well. Could have punished with, close slash 6S, focus super and killed pretty easily, but just takes a throw into some more mix. Tap dusts are the way, will always work. So it's a fast way to close out a round. Alright, into the 5th game. This time, Dogura decides to mix it up a little bit. Goes for an IED. Could try to, beat out far slash or just kind of moving away. But dash block 2S has worked so well, and curse has worked so well. So I guess it's good to throw in some other options, though. Yeah, getting curse is really important, but blocking a JH from Testament can be pretty scary because of that JD. Good FD usage, but just because you're FDing them away doesn't necessarily mean that you can just jump away. Far Slash will probably catch you in that range, and 236H will catch you. So you just kind of need to see how they're going to do it. You can either gamble a 6P if you think they're going to Far Slash, or you can do like a dash block to try to get in. Actually, I think even just standing still there or crouching would have let you avoid the 236H and potentially punish them. So there's a lot of options Testament has to keep you in the corner. 6H, Far Slash, 2H, 236H. But jumping is good to do every once in a while, but I think IEDing straight out of the corner is a little bit more risky, right? Because now you get could have gotten a full combo and a wall break, but RX wants to keep the corner. Just calling out those jumps. And see how active 236H is, right? It completely missed. Goes right over. And then the skull's still there, and then hits out of the ID. So I just gotta be very careful about 236H. IDFD throw. Yeah, it's really strong to layer in throws on top of a high-low game. Some more pressure going. Good jump out. Goes for combo. Unfortunately, gets kind of messed up, but has curse, so it's still very doable. Neutral, nice block, nice tech. Oof. Okay. Feeling like a hero, but if you can get curse, get some resources, it's definitely doable. And I think that alone made it worth it, right? If you can force them to take their burst too, and you still think that you have a reasonable shot, then it's worth doing a hero burst every once in a while. But now you're gonna have to FD for your life because you don't want to get chipped out. Yeah, unfortunately JTK is a pretty good option, but it's a little bit more difficult to use against thinner characters. It's better against, Nago, Potemkin, but I think IDJS may have been a little bit better of an option there. But, it's also hard to tell if Testament is going to move forward or backwards. J2K is a little bit better for, if you're not sure where on the screen they're going to be. Alright, first round start, RX gets counter hit and a knockdown. Commits to a big 6H, but Dogura happens to get around it. That's a pretty resource-intensive route. I think there's a few other ways that'll do more damage and less resources, but as long as you get them to the corner and you're still able to run your pressure, it's fine. Gets tap dust, some wall slump mix, high-low. Yeah, Dogura was definitely much closer this time than the last time. So yeah, focus, reload a couple bullets, and no FD from RX2, so that also makes it easier. Or I guess I tried to FD, but it was a little bit too late. So goes for high-low, goes for throw again. After that throw, you could just RC it. You could do like back throw RC, and then you can do a coast-to-coast combo, and maybe would have built enough meter to do a super at the end of it. I'm not exactly sure. But yeah, back throw, especially when you're at the wall break situation, or like post wall slump, doing back throw into RC can get you a lot of damage. Or you could have just taken a forward throw RC and taken the wall break and gotten more resources. But it really depends, Dogura is already at a ton of life and has a lot of resources, so there's no real reason to break the wall, but breaking the wall is also, very strong. If you're at this much meter and you wall break, you're going to get positive bonus, and you can pretty much guarantee them out with either chip damage or from mixing. The only thing you'd have to worry about is them getting Y or C, since they'd get the meter from the super. But decides to just do dust. We're seeing shades of Tiger Pop here, and it seems like this should kill. Round start curse, which again is really good and has worked out a lot, but unfortunately it doesn't mean that you get a guaranteed shot before they can run up and press a button. Especially in Testament's case, Far Slash will reach you from pretty far away. Even though RX walks away round start, is still able to get it out just in time. Confirms into a little knockdown. Nice air throw. That was a good IBFD, but that doesn't make you avoid the overhead. So I think the IBFD on the JH could have made 2K miss, but it would have been pretty close. But good block nonetheless. All this FDing is really good and spaced out, so RX took like a slight miscalculation on the 2K range, or maybe just tried to hit Dogura out of a counter poke 2K, but Dogura's patience paid off and got a counter hit to us. Tries to burst bait, but got a little bit too close on the 6S. So it's unfortunate. Really nice confirm on that in air JK. Or air to air JK. Gotta play a little patient. RX using up their meter while you're still building yours. Counter hit. Nice confirm. Unfortunately, yeah, so that was a really, really nice confirm, but would have definitely fit in another guard crush shot, and I think that would have made this kill. Yeah, because that life is so low that is this even just like little optimizations. Like when I'm playing, I sometimes cut combo short just to make sure, but had the concentration that would have made it so another shot could have worked. But now, instead of a guaranteed kill, has to mix and puts himself at risk. Yeah. Luckily, he's able to get away, but gets clipped. And if RX comboed into a 5k 6h and then Succubus Super, that would have been the end of the round, unless Dogura managed to get burst off in time. But yeah, turning a potential guaranteed win into now something that he really has to fight for, but gets a gold burst off, so could easily have been just a chip situation. If Dogura trusts his guard crush zoning pattern, could just do like 2 or 3 guard crush shots, and then just unmeter super, and then do like I think 5 more, and then do super again, and do 5 more, and that definitely would have taken out the health bar, but just barely wins that round. So definitely a couple different ways that this round could have gone, where Dogura could have won, but still manages to get by. So still worked out. Alright, on to the final match. Yeah, this time Dogura is just playing a little bit more passive. Especially when you're playing a long set against someone, it's good to see how they've adjusted to your game plan and how you play round starts. So just taking a round to be passive and defensive, just to see how they are choosing to do it, whether they decide to be defensive or if they're choosing to be offensive. It's good to do that every once in a while. It's Curse on, just playing a little bit patient because you are still in Testament's range, and since steady aim shot is 18 frames at best, and Testament can just do dash far slash in less time, it's pretty scary to, even with Curse, it's scary to just try to steady aim shot them in that range. So I understand Dogura's patience. Yeah, it was probably pretty important that RX bursted that, because that could have been a pretty big turnaround for the round. 2S and then full corner carry and potential wall break. But it seems like Dogura likes to keep the wall for a couple more mix-ups. Good mix, doesn't want to get wall splatted. Yeah, it's good that Happy Chaos can do like a jump in and punish and get a full combo, right? Because a lot of characters would just kind of get jump in and then a knockdown. But yeah, I'm not a fan of this route. I would like if Dogura could get a little bit better optimization, doing 236S routing to get better wall break situations. But it seems like Dogura really prefers to take the focus and corner pressure instead of returning to neutral. Yeah, good tech. Just Dogura's really trying to stay just outside of the range Testament can be in, right? Like they're both kind of backdashing and pressing some buttons, but there are a lot of backdashes coming out of Dogura, which is completely understandable and probably pretty good in the matchup. But if RX started to commit with some deeper dash far slashes or deeper dash 6Hs, it might get better reward off of Dogura's backdashes. This time, ID out of the corner did work, but that was because RX committed to Arbiter, which is really slow and doesn't catch jump. Yeah, just swinging those 2Ss. But 2S is extremely strong, especially in matchup. Yeah, those are the combos I want to see Dogura be doing more. But obviously it would have been nice if he ended with Guard Crush shot, so that way he would have gotten a focus before the super, so would have had concentration instead of down here, would have been like up here and would have had a buff and had all of his bullets. So yeah, and again, there are a lot of ways you can play this post wall break. You can play defensive and zone it, which could work in this situation, but RX has so much meter that even if you force them to FD all that time, you'd be using up all your positive bonus just to zone them out and maybe chip them down a little bit. So yeah, sometimes it's good to just go on the offensive. I guess most of the time it's pretty good to go on the offensive. And this time it works out because RX just didn't block. Alright, on to the final round. Yeah, so Dogura's back to Curse and 2S. So combined the best of both round starts into a really good situation, forcing RX to burst. Yeah, so now some pretty strong corner pressure is coming from RX. When you get Crow on you, and you're stained, if they get off Far Slash, they get fully charged 2-3 success, which is really plus. I'm pretty sure that Testament can frame trap with Far Slash, but it looked like probably out of the range where Far Slash would have reached, so it was good on RX to realize that 6H was probably the only thing that could have reached, and it catches out of the air too. So, and after blocking fully charged Fireball, you can either gamble 6p, but like I just said, even if it would beat Far Slash, but 6H would still win. So maybe like neutral super jump and then like a delayed air dash out could have worked, or sometimes just being patient, even though you don't want to be, like you don't want to be blocking against Testament in the corner, just committing to FD. Because if you FD'd the 6H and they try to throw a Fireball, then you probably would have been able to jump. If they did Crow, I'm pretty sure you would have been able to jump. So all of these situations, sometimes just a little bit extra patience is important. And against Testament has so many options to just be jumping, which I've already gone over. So it can be scary, but trying to escape through the air is really important. But also FDing and trying to 2S is the other main option. So now wall broken in a pretty bad situation. He's stained, but good counter poke with the 2S. Decides to keep the wall. Yeah, a safe super from RX, pretty good idea. Could have been really bad for Dogura if he had committed something. Lots of neutral just running around backdashing at each other, throwing out pokes. Alright, confirms off the gunshot. Decides to just take focus and get some more resources, but really low on bullets. Fortunately, gets the wall slump, gets a couple bullets, goes for some mix, goes low, goes throw, and that wraps it up. So this is definitely a matchup where you need to think a lot, right? You can't just be throwing out curses all the time. You can't just be backdashing. The mid-range is really difficult when they have 236H to stop your IEDs, because JS is such a strong tool. 2S is going to be like your main counter poke. Curse is really important to get on them so that they can't get out their charge fireballs. But thank you for watching.